Hey friends, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be reacting to your recreations of my spreads that you tagged me in on Instagram. So without further ado, let's jump into it because I want to react to as many as I possibly can. Okay, so this time around, I've been trying to not look at too many of my tagged photos over the past month. Part of that is just because I've had a bit of a weird month. I've been a bit overwhelmed, so I've been trying to spend less time on social media, less time checking my tags and mentions just to kind of give myself a bit of a break. But also because I thought it would be more fun if I definitely hadn't seen any of the recreations when I made this video, instead of having seen a lot of them and already kind of had my initial reaction to them off camera. So hopefully this makes the video a little bit more fun for both me and for you. Okay, so I'm just gonna hop into my tagged photos on Instagram and I'm gonna react to all of the spreads we find there. So this one's super cute. Hot Bujo Tea recreated the format of my period tracker, but they did it for the 72-hour club, which I haven't heard of before, and also recreated my date night spread, and they did it in that Art Deco style. The lettering is very Art Deco, I love it, and they incorporated the gold. It also looks like they included little photos of themselves and their partner at the bottom of the date night spread, which is adorable, and now I want to do that on mine, so amazing idea. Ooh, okay, here's a cool one. So this one is flashing back to January, and this is another one that is a recreation of both my Art Deco spreads for January and Amanda Rach Lee's. And then they actually used the quote that I used in my February setup, which is funny. I wonder if they made this before I released my February plan with me and we were just on the same wavelength, or if they made this later. But it's always fun to see an alternate universe where our bullet journals have had a baby and this is what it would look like. Oh, and before I move on, this one was by Lettered by Nivi. Okay, so this one I've actually already seen because this was one of the first recreations of my March setup that went up the same day that I posted my video, and I'm always so shocked when I see y'all tagging me in your stories and in posts when you've already started recreating my spreads, you know, an hour after I post the video. It's really, what's the right word? Surreal, I guess, but it's really flattering and cool. So this is, I think, actually the second recreation I was tagged in on Instagram, but the first one that was in an actual feed post that I could save this way. So this is by Rad Book Review, and they recreated the cover page and added a little mini calendar, and then they used sort of a similar border to what I did for my monthly spread, but they used it for their quote. And I love the quote they chose. They chose, "Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant," which I commented, perfect quote. I love this because I do love it, and that is a perfect quote. And it always just makes me happy to see those first few recreations come through. Okay, so the next one I'm gonna react to is this one by Essie's Many Journals. And this is a weekly that was inspired by my Art Nouveau theme, and they sort of recreated those organically shaped gold borders. And it's really beautiful and simple. It's nice that they have distinguished between each day with these borders without them completely closing off. I like the negative space that they included in the spread. And I love the irregularity and little moments here and there of symmetry. It's just very satisfying to me. Okay, so the next one I'm reacting to is this one by Planet Kalem, and they recreated the 20 Ways to Love Myself spread that I made, although they have 23 ways, so they're more creative than me, I guess, is the answer. But I love this. I love that a bunch of you have been interested in recreating the spread on your own and kind of taking inspiration from the little How to Love Yourself series, I guess, that I did on my channel in February, to focus in on actually developing a sincere form of self-love rather than a surface level, sort of skin deep version of self-love that I think is something that is often peddled on social media. Again, as I've said in my other videos, I don't think there's anything wrong with, you know, working to love yourself on a surface level. Working to love your body, of course, is very important and difficult for many of us, or doing some of those more frivolous, maybe self-care actions like doing your nails or having a bubble bath. And while they can seem like they're not the most substantial ways to practice self-care and to develop your own sense of self-love, they definitely still have value. But that said, I am happy to see a lot of you getting inspiration from some of the things I've talked about and really starting or continuing on deepening your journey of a real exploration of who you are as a person and finding that true sense of love for all of the various facets of who you are as a person and finding that, real sense of worthiness despite, any flaws you may have or mistakes you have made. I'm gonna stop myself before I go on a tangent, but I will link those videos if you haven't seen them because I do think that they're important and I think that they could bring value to your life if it's not something you've really considered before. So yeah, it makes me really happy to see someone recreating the spread. Ooh, okay, this is fun. So this is a full new bullet journal setup that's inspired by myself and Amanda Rach Lee, our Art Deco spreads. So it looks like they were inspired by my sort of inner cover contact page design here, as well as my Welcome 2020 page. I love this quote page that they made with this peacock. This is absolutely beautiful. It looks like it might be a stamp, but either way, it's really, really beautiful. And I love that quote, "Dare to dream, adventure awaits." Awesome. And this was by Tori Colored Pencil Addict. I can relate, Tori. Oh, this is another person who recreated the 20 Ways to Love Myself spread. That makes me so happy. So this is by Journal Thou Life, which is an awesome handle. And they also recreated this 20 Ways to Love Myself spread. I really, really love this sort of scrapbooky style design that they've put on the page. I wonder if they drew these roses or if they printed them because they almost look printed or made digitally, but if they handmade those, they're very precise. I love the gold and the black and the combination of colors and patterns. It feels very warm and earthy. Oh, the caption is so lovely. It really means so much to me when y'all let me know how videos I've made have touched you or, made a difference in your life. It's something that I could have only dreamed of, and it really is the most rewarding part of making content and connecting with all of you is seeing how something that I can say alone in my house on camera and put on the internet can have a actual sincere, genuine impact on someone else's life who I've never met, and that's just such a beautiful thing. It makes me really emotional, so I'm really, really happy to see that. Thank you to all of you who share your experiences and stories with me. Every comment, every DM. I'm no longer able to reply to every single one because there's just too many, but I still do my best and I try as much as I can to read every single one, even if I can't respond to everyone, and they just make my heart so full and happy. Oh my gosh, this one is so good. Booja with Ruby made a habit tracker and they included the symbol that I included in my husband's Simpsons bullet journal setup. I don't even remember what month that was, but I included a drawing of this random symbol, which is a really deep reference to a very specific episode of The Simpsons, and I won't get into the details, but my husband actually has a tattoo of the symbol on his finger, this very obscure Simpsons reference, and I love that this person put it in the background of their habit tracker. I need to send it to my husband right now because he will die laughing. This is so good. This is so funny and amazing, and I love it. Oh, this is fun. This is a bit of a throwback. So this is the quote that I used in my, when was it? I guess July when I did the peach theme, or was that June? Maybe it was June, that I did peaches, and I used the Dita Von Teese quote, "You can be the ripest, juiciest peach in the world, and there's still going to be somebody who hates peaches." And this is a really, really beautiful way to do it. I love the soft, they almost look like bubbles, but I guess they're, the edges of peaches, but all of the different shades are really beautifully done. There's sort of a variety of oranges and peaches and pinks, and they just look so soft and airy, and I just really like this. This is a beautiful little quote page, and it's always fun to see some of these older quotes come back. Of course, they're not my quotes, I didn't say them, but it's fun to see y'all liking the quotes that I pick and, using them in your own bullet journal. And I always try to pick quotes for a purpose. I don't just pick a random quote just to have a quote. I try to pick something to remind me of something that I'm struggling with or I'm trying to work on. So, you know, this one was a good one to remember. I think I was having some hate comments on videos and I was struggling with that because I'm a very sensitive human, and I was trying to remind myself that I could do everything right. I could be the absolute best version of myself, and there are still going to be people who don't like me, and that's not, you know, necessarily my fault or my problem. There's always going to be people who don't vibe with you or don't like the things you make or aren't a fan of you, and that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. So this quote was a really good one for me, just to remind myself of that fact. Even though it's something I know, it's easy for me to forget because I am a natural people pleaser and I am naturally quite sensitive, and I want people to like me and respect me and think I'm cool and nice, and when people don't, it's definitely something that I have to struggle to not take personally. So this is a great quote for reminding me of that, and I'm glad that other people like it too. Okay, fun. So, oh, I should say that was Sarah Rachel Bujo. Okay, so next is Creative Kiyomi, and they are trying out the Faux Dutch Door Rolling Weekly. As I've said about a million times at this point, I love when y'all try out the Rolling Weekly and tag me and let me know that you love it. It means so much to me. It is the weekly that has changed my life. Best weekly I've ever tried. If you haven't tried it or you're not familiar, tap the link in the card to check out the video where I explain it, because it is life-changing in my humble opinion. This one's really cute and pink and fun. It's also cool that they included a habit tracker in there as well. That's a really fun way to play with the theme. Looks like they don't need as much space on the weekend, which I think is typical for a lot of people. So they use that extra space for a habit tracker, which is honestly a really genius idea. Okay, this one's fun. This is a recreation of my February Art Nouveau theme. So they recreated the calendar page and then also did one here, which looks like it is sort of a Calendex style calendar as well, using a border inspired by the border I made on my self-love tracker spread. Love to see it. I really had fun with the Art Nouveau setup. It was a really fun one for me to do. One that I was also terrified to do because I thought I was definitely trying to do something that was outside of my skill level as an artist, but I did pleasantly surprise myself, and it was really fun to challenge myself to do something outside of my comfort zone. And this is so cute. I love seeing that a lot of you really enjoyed the more organic, irregular style of those Art Nouveau borders. They're just so whimsical, I guess is the right word. They feel very ornate, but not stuffy, if you know what I mean. So this was Ingrid Ketu Art. Ooh, this is fun. So Oshi Watt recreated a Kanban board in their bullet journal. And what did they do this for? This is for baking. That's fun. So they've done a baking project spread, Cake Kanban. Order, deposit, baked, decor, and collect. I love seeing people use this sort of Kanban board style idea in their bullet journal to track a bunch of different types of projects, because it really can be altered to fit pretty much any multi-step project that you do over and over again, to simplify the process of tracking your projects, and especially if you work on multiple projects simultaneously and they might be in different stages of the project. Of course, I didn't come up with the idea of a Kanban board. This idea has been around for a long time. I also wasn't the first person to think of including this in a journal, so I'll link my original video for you so you can check it out if you want to learn how these Kanban boards work. My camera overheated and died, so I'm going to hurry up and finish this video. So I think what I was saying before it died was I was saying that I will link my Kanban board video for you where I talk about how to use it, what it is, and also who I first got the idea from, who I think was the minimalist Bujo, who I follow on Instagram. I think there was somebody else who had also done a similar spread. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that video will be linked if you want to check it out. Okay, and I'm gonna quickly react to two more. These are two who recreated the cover page idea of doing a self-portrait. So this one is also by Ingrid Ketu Art, who created their own self-portrait for February. So beautifully done. I love this blue gown and the intricate hair, all the strands separated. I feel ya, that takes a century. It looks so beautiful. And then also we have the Guinea Cat, who did a similar one. I love the hairstyle of this self-portrait. It's sort of a half up style with flowers and the long tendrils that feel like they're in movement. Maybe they've been picked up by the wind. And this beautiful pink dress. It looks like they also recreated some of the other spreads and took inspiration for their whole setup, and included little drawings of guinea pigs, which is adorable. And I assume that they have a guinea pig, which is amazing. I love guinea pigs, they're so cute. So they are not the only two people who recreated this idea of doing a self-portrait. There were actually quite a few. If I can find the other ones, I will include them as well, because I was so impressed and so happy to see other people trying the challenge of doing an Alphonse Mucha inspired self-portrait, because it's not a task for the faint of heart. Here's another one. This one's really beautiful, a brunette self-portrait, and I love that the brown hair and the gold of the dress really gives me a Belle from Beauty and the Beast vibe, which apparently is what they were going for, sort of a Beauty and the Beast / Art Nouveau theme, which is really fun because Beauty and the Beast is my favorite Disney movie and Belle is my favorite Disney princess, so not mad about the combination of themes. There's also this one where we have a red-headed self-portrait. This one feels very Ariel because of the red hair, and then this sort of teal blue dress on the rock. It feels very much that moment in Little Mermaid. You know the moment, you know, on the rock. Waves crashing all around. Thank you for coming to my dramatic reenactment of that scene from Little Mermaid. So I'll put all of the self-portrait recreations that I can find on the screen so that you can check them out. I will also include a bunch more recreations just for you to quickly see. I'll do them really fast to try to include as many as possible, but if you want to slow down the video, there is an option in YouTube that you can slow down the player if you want to see the pictures at a more reasonable pace. But I just want to include as many people as possible. Again, I won't be able to include everyone. There's a chance that you didn't tag me in the actual photo or that somehow I didn't see it. So not purposely trying to not include anyone, just doing my best to show as many as possible. So yeah, before my camera overheats again, let me say thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing my reactions to a bunch of your recreations. If you want to potentially be included in a video like this in the future, be sure to tag me in your recreations on Instagram. It's easiest for me to keep track of them if you tag me in the actual photo on your feed, because then it pops up in my tagged photos section on Instagram, so I can go back later and look through all of them. Thank you so much to anyone who has ever tagged me in a recreation or in a spread you've made. It's really awesome for me to get to see, and as much as I can't comment and like every single one, I can't mention every single one in a video like this, I really do appreciate every single one of you. If you haven't seen my March Plan With Me video yet, I highly recommend you check it out. It's linked here in the card. I just posted it a few days ago. And this week on Saturday, I'll be posting my husband's Plan With Me, which is another nerdy theme this time around. So all of you who are nerdy sci-fi fans, a little hint there, will enjoy it. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you really soon in my next video. Bye, friends. I want to take a quick moment to thank my patrons for their support. Extra special thanks to our newest patrons, Ira, Jade, Selena, Allison, Alex, and Chloe. Welcome to the squad. We are so excited to have you. If you at home want to join the squad, feel free. There's a link in the card and in the description box down below. And if you're looking for something else to watch, I recommend you check out this video or this video.